he found a certain man named Aeneas who had been bedridden 8 years and was paralyzed. God moved Peter. Peter's coming to town, and he finds this bedridden man. Peter is on the move, and God is using him. He's using him in visitation and encouragement and advice. I mean, Peter's coming to town and healing this poor man. Here's a man who's been paralyzed for 8 years. We're talking about first century stuff. Paralyzed. Feeding him, clothing him, keeping everything right is a lot of work. All of these things is a tough thing. And what we take for granted, this man couldn't. He is paralyzed. We don't have any idea what happened, how it happened, but he has been paralyzed for 8 years. He had to work through so much. And we have this scenario. We can't imagine, but we kind of can. 8 years, he was a helpless dependent. The reason eludes us. It's not hard to imagine that when Peter says this to him, when he's coming up to this paralyzed man, and Peter said to him, Aeneas, Jesus the Christ heals you. Arise and make your bed. Then he arose immediately. Now that's a game changer. That is something that gets people's attention. The person who really got attention was the paralyzed man. He is standing. The mental picture. Peter says to him, Jesus the Christ heals you, arise and make your bed. And immediately he arose and made his bed. Now, I don't know what the connotation could be, or we just land there, God, I wish I could just get up and make my bed. You know, I don't know, but we have this for us. We have this for just the processing. Peter says, get up, arise, and make your bed. Now, this really got people's attention in Lydia. And also in the surrounding town, Sharon. And they did this. They turned to the Lord. Can you imagine? Why would they do that? Why would that get their attention? Because God used this paralyzed man. He used this man who laid in the bed, trusting him. I think there's a lot in all of this stuff. Praying, I think there's so much here that's for us to draw from. And as God healed him, as he rose, as he made his bed, and then the attention of everybody around. So all who dwelt in Lydia and Sharon saw him and turned to the Lord. See, here's the thing. What price do you put on a soul? What price do you put on many souls that turn to the Lord because this guy went through faithfully? What happened? God touched him and met him exactly where he was at. And this man was known far and wide. God met them there. These are small towns. These are towns that they were familiar with this man's plight. But it spread to the next town. And Peter's being obedient. Peter's going forward. This paralyzed man is now totally healed. How moving is that?